Eldson Chagara is a Malawian freelance video journalist and producer. He's based in the commercial capital, Blantyre. He has 16 years experience in broadcast journalism and his work including shooting, scripting, editing, narration, and reporting radio and television news, features, and documentaries. Over the years, he has been published in both local and international media, and these include Al Jazeera, BBC, Reuters, Anchor, IHA, United Nations agencies, and other online publications. He joins us via telephone from Malawi, and he's going to give us a brief update of what has been transpiring in the last week after the elections. Eldson, welcome to Sahara TV.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us on this short notice. But anyway, I'd like to start off by saying this is a comment that was made by the head of the Election Commission. He said, I can comfortably say the elections was free and fair. It was also transparent. It was also, in my assessment, credible. And this was made by Mr. Maxon Bendera. That was on Thursday. Now, how was your assessment of this election?
My very personal assessment of this tripartite election, the first ever to be held in a day in our country, Malawi. The elections were very free, fair. However, the credibility could not be justified in my own way of looking at things. Why am I saying this? I'm looking at several issues. The preparations as regards these tripartite elections were quite well organized. The management aspect is what has been questionable.
Right.
Being the first ever tripartite elections, we expected, of course, a few minor problems, but not as gross as they were soon after the polls were closed.
I have here a statement that says that there was over 4,000 polling stations that found so much anomalies. And what are these anomalies? Can you break them down?
Yes, you may look at the anomalies as if they are just minor anomalies, but these are quite, like I would say, massive irregularities and anomalies.
Right.
From the point of view of the Malawi Electoral Commission's personnel and officers, they worked tirelessly to make sure that these elections are free, fair, and credible. Right. However, the problem that has arisen is we are looking at the political parties and the personnel they sent as monitors, presiding officers and the returning officers, how they conduct themselves in as far as handling the voters' roll. Because you may be informed that at so many centers, the voters' roll and the number of those who have voted, actually, the number of voters was exceeding the number that was registered. So it was quite something strange during these elections. Because if you are looking at anomalies per se, these were the ones we're calling anomalies. The bloated figures, the additional figures to the voters' roll. That's what has messed up almost everything for us to have prolonged or delayed kind of elections that have no results within the specified period of time.
Okay, so now I know that former President Dr. Joyce Banda came in third at 20.2% of the votes, whilst Professor Peter Mutharika was in the lead at 36.4%. And also the opposition, Dr. Lazarus McCarthy Chakwera, had like 27.8% of the votes. This election was annulled and then obviously went through courts, and yesterday the court gave its final tally. What was the result of that court hearing?
If the results were nullified and the Malawians went back to vote, or rather would call it a rerun, I wouldn't see much change because already it was now in the mindset of Malawians saying Peter Mutharika, professor himself, is leading. So it was going to be a driving force, rather a guide as to this is our president, for example.
Right.
So because already things were missed at one point, at one level. That's why now we thought the elections were free, fair, but not as credible as it may sound.
Okay, so now Peter Mutharika, as we know him, is also the brother to the late former president of Malawi. This was Bingu Mutharika, who passed away, obviously, during his tenure in presidency, and then Joyce Banda took over. He has been also a resident in the United States, owning a green card. And I think sometime during the course of these elections, the fact that he held a green card, paid taxes in the United States, was raised. How then was this resolved?
The issue of green card was one of the bone of contention. Malawians were meant to believe that Professor Bingu Mutharika was holding dual citizenship, and the green card itself was going to make him not stand. But I think as a lawyer himself, as somebody who has studied law and knows the do's and don'ts, that's why maybe he handed over the green card, opting to be Malawian more than American. So that was sorted out, and the Malawians accepted him, and there he was, and today he's become the president of the Republic.
Okay. So now that, has there been any announcement that has been formally made in terms of that Malawi has a new president, and what happens if the court decision, is there anybody trying to challenge the results of the court decisions against the backdrop of the anomalies that you outlisted?
Lawyers concerned from the concerned parties, these are the opposition parties, like, for example, the Malawi Congress Party, the United Democratic Front, and the others. They ganged up and said, we are challenging these results, and so the courts must not proceed to announce, or to rather officially announce the winner. However, the courts, as of yesterday night, they resolved that Malawi Electoral Commission has no mandate to actually recount the votes after the expiry of 8 days, which is stipulated in their laws, that the Malawi Electoral Commission shall release the results, official results, within the 8 days. So if there were anomalies and other irregularities, they were, according to the courts, supposed to be sorted out within this specified period of 8 days. So as we went to hear the announcement yesterday night, the aggrieved party said they were going to go to the Supreme Court to challenge the decision of the lower court, which was the High Court. However, this coming today morning, that's when the state radio announced that the new president-elect was going to be sworn in. And as I speak now, we have the new president in Malawi, Professor Peter Mutharika.
Okay.
And we are expecting in this regard that the aggrieved parties will still go to the courts because that's what they said, that they are still finding it absurd, if I were to use that word, for the courts to swear in someone when there are still issues pending to be resolved.
Okay.
So one of these days, hopefully, we should be seeing the Malawi Congress Party, or rather the lawyers representing the aggrieved party, to go back to the courts, in this case the Supreme Court, to challenge the results, because they are actually saying they still are dealing with irregularities and anomalies that have not been sorted out.
So when these the announcement from the courts was released, it was pretty late in Malawi last night. How was the mood on the streets? Did people go out? I have a report here that somebody died, I think, maybe in the aftermath of the announcements. But how was the general feel in the community?
Prior to the announcement of the results yesterday, in the morning, there were some pockets of fracas or chaotic incidents or situations or environments, rather, in the lakeshore district of Maboreke. And I'm told there.
Nick, can you please get me a paper towel or something?
Some kind of problems with the people who were actually calling for a rerun of the whole exercise. Okay. So in the process, I'm told reports show that one boy, aged 14, was was killed in the process. And so this also brought in some, bad feelings amongst Malayans, hoping that maybe this was going to be the start of the chaos that we have never experienced in Malawi. However, the chairperson for the Malawi Electoral Commission handled this case sensitively, if I may use that word, because he actually sobbed and he was in tears when he was actually announcing the final results yesterday night, in reference to the boy who was killed in the fracas in the electoral district of Maboreke. However, after the announcement of the official winner or the official results of the winner in this tripartite elections, there was jubilation, there was ululation and hooting. People spent the better part of the morning, the early morning today, running up and down the streets of Blantyre, Lilongwe, and some pockets of the districts in Malawi, welcoming the news, saying Peter Mutharika is the winner. And these were mainly those supporters that actually supported the president-elect. However, at the Tally Center, the National Tally Center, where we were and where I was myself as a reporter, there were some, faces were down for those that were from the opposition who still don't believe that these results were legitimate, and they felt like they have been, snatched their victory because the issues of irregularities were still pending.
Okay, now the outgoing president, Mrs. Banda, has she appeared publicly? Has she sent out a statement? And if she did, what was the last statement that she made?
Speaking on the national broadcaster, she actually said she will go for the results and she's ready to hand over her powers to the president-elect.
Right.
So come Monday, when the inoculation takes place, we'll be seeing the former president now, Joyce Banda, handing over powers to the president-elect, Professor Peter Mutharika, who apparently today has been sworn in.
Okay. Anyway, I think the Malawian people have spoken, according to us in the diaspora and everywhere else. But I would like to thank you for the time that you've given us and also for that update. We'll keep in touch and obviously want to see what this president is going to do for the Malawian people. I've been speaking to Eldson Chagara, who's a freelance journalist based on the ground in Malawi. Eldson, thank you very much. Like you say in Malawi, zikomo kwambiri. Thank you.
Zikomo kwambiri, inunso zabwino zonse. All the best.
All right, thanks.
Bye-bye.